All right, so hello, this is part 2 of our Flipgrid training, and we are going to go a little bit deeper today, so hopefully you've created your account, and if not, we can go over that very quickly for anybody who's with us live. We're going to kind of talk about how you create an assignment. I'm going to show you some examples of different ways that teachers have been utilizing Flipgrid, and I will show you one example of how I am incorporating it with the library as kind of a virtual library bookshelf for book talks. We're also going to talk a little bit about the ability to record a lesson using Flipgrid now. They have a new tool as of about 2 weeks ago that you can use to record a lesson. So you can kind of record your screen just like you do in Screencastify. So we have a few people live with us, and I'm just going to kind of get started and ask anybody who's with us live, do you both have an account?
Yes.
Yes? And Don, you created yours last week? Or not yet?
I don't think I did because I want to make sure I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, no problem. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're just going to go right over to Flipgrid. And now are you able, I've also figured out a little bit how to keep a window open where I can see comments, as well as you are just seeing all of, like, your whole screen's full of Flipgrid right now, correct?
Oh, I can see like your screen, and also I can see you and.
But you don't see like my my comments open, can you?
No.
No. Yeah. So on my view, this is something that teachers have been wondering about. How can you present to a class and also have your comments so that you can kind of monitor the chat, or even try to see kind of what they're doing if you need to or want to. And I've been playing around last week. If you were, I don't know if you both were, I know Monica said she wasn't, but last week at the beginning, I was trying to figure that out on camera, and I wasn't having a lot of success. So I played around with it a little bit this week and last week. And if you drag the tab out of the other tabs of the one you want to present, you can have, you can share just your tab, and that's what you two are seeing right now. So I took my Flipgrid tab and I took it out and separated it from the rest of my tabs. So I have like a split screen right now, which is actually really cool and pretty useful. So I am already in my Flipgrid, and I am in one of, so let me just go back to my main account. So when you create an account, you will be brought to your grid. And this particular account, this is my school account, I have 11 separate grids. And I think that thinking about Flipgrid, each grid is probably like a class that you would teach. And within a grid, you create topics. So if I go into this example, this was a 7th grade social studies class. And this grid was all about this country inquiry project. So this was Miss Winslow last year, the year before. And the way that she organized it is that she has 5 classes she teaches. So she created a new topic for each period that she teaches. And I think that that is a pretty effective way. Monica, have you used Flipgrid yet?
No. I want to start next week, so that's why I just want to learn more.
Excellent. Yeah. Do you have any background knowledge at all, or are you starting from complete scratch?
I attended a session last week about the Flipgrid, so I get a sense how to use it, but I never like apply into real. Yeah.
Got it. Perfect. All right. So let's go through an example real quick of creating a new grid and a new topic. So if I go back to my grids and I add new grid, and I'm going to pretend this is language arts. And I am going to do a book review. Like, that's my assignment. So language arts book review. When you set up a grid, you want to attach to school email, because this allows your students to log in using their Gmail or their Google account. So you just select it and you click next. Now, this is automatically defaulted because this is how I logged in. So this is the end of my email address. This is a teacher one at whps.org. You want to add the student ending, which is student.wshps.org, because that means that anybody who logs in with these two ending emails will be, they're the only ones that will be able to log in. That's how it kind of keeps it secure and safe from outside users for your grids. So then click next, and it's as simple as that's the grid, it's ready. And it automatically generates a URL. So this is what you could copy and post in your classroom. It also says you can share to Google Classroom, and I haven't used this feature too much yet because I don't work directly with students very often, but this is a tool that you probably would utilize if you are also using Google Classroom. So let's go to our grid. And this is a little bit of review from last week too, because we kind of talked briefly about this. So now I have my grid, and a couple of things that I want to review again are, if I click edit this, I can personalize, I can put in an image of something that will appear on my grid. So this is about book reviews. So I'm gonna choose the book one. You can also upload your own image, whatever you would like. You can personalize it. So I'm gonna update grid, and that's how you get that image right there. So you can pick something that goes along with your topic if you would like. So now that I have my grid, you always have the Say Hello on Flipgrid generic standard one that comes with every grid that you create. I tend not to use this one, but if you feel like you would like to, you can. This is just kind of an introduction, and it is already created for you. So I'm going to just leave that as is for now and not really pay attention too much. Up here, this is the flip code. So I can click on this and I can see what students see, which this might be very helpful for me to kind of get a feel for what the students are looking at as you're learning yourself about how Flipgrid works. This is also something that's really cool that allows you to collaborate. So Monica and I actually work together quite a bit at school, and if she was doing one of these Flipgrids, she might want to add me as a co-pilot, which is I get to see everything that she sees, and I can watch the kids' videos, and I can help assess or whatever the case may be. So all you do to add a co-pilot is you invite them with their email address for WHPS. And then they have to have first a Flipgrid account. You can't invite anybody who isn't signed up already. And they also have to accept that invitation. So that's kind of a cool feature that this has as well. So let's go and add a new topic. So let's pretend that I have 5 sections. Now this is the title. So I'm going to title this by my periods, because that's how I'm going to organize it. So period 1, and then the recording time, depending on what your assignment is, you might want to adjust this. So if I'm doing 1 minute book talks, I might do 1 minute 30 seconds to give them a little bit of wiggle room. If I'm having them do a longer presentation that I want them to do like a script, because I know Monica, a lot of times you will have the kids write something and then practice it, and then you want to hear them speak it, then you might do it for a little bit longer. And it can be anywhere from as short as 15 seconds to as long as 10 minutes. So 10 minutes is the max that we have within Flipgrid right now. Just that's a good piece of information to know. This is where you put the directions. So please record, oops, would help if I spelled that right, a book review of a book you have recently finished and loved. And then I might give them some parameters, like again, this could be a copy and paste if you have your directions somewhere else. So include whatever it is I want to make sure that they include. Here, you can put an individual image along with each topic, or you could, I haven't used a lot of the other features yet, but these are all of the things that are integrated into Flipgrid. So if you use Kahoot, you could integrate a Kahoot to go along with your assignment, a Wakelet, a Nearpod. There's just a lot of really cool features that even I don't know all of them, but there's a lot of possibilities. So now I'm going to create that. Well, first, let's go to more options, actually. So topic tip, if you have some specific things you want them to make sure they remember, this is where you could remind them in the topic tip. If there is a link that goes along with your assignment, or some type of tool or resource or diagram that you want to include, you can put the URL. So if it's in your Google Drive, you can put the share URL in there, and you can, I'm not sure how many attachments you can add, but I think you can add quite a few. Down here for topic status, we talked a little bit about this last week also. Topic status, this is where you can decide if you want to have your videos when a student records their assignment. If you wanted to immediately post to your Flipgrid, you can not have it moderated. But if you want to see their videos before that they go quote unquote live for everybody else to see, you can click this to moderate it, and you will have to make it active on your end. And we'll go into a topic in a minute, and I'll show you how you can do that. This video moderation is also really cool because if you don't want everybody else in the class to see each individual student's post, then you can do this, and it's just between you and that student. So chorus, for example, has the kids singing certain pieces, but the kids don't really want everybody else to hear them singing it, and the teacher wants them to feel comfortable, and that the other kids don't need to see it because this isn't really, that's not really a collaborative type of assignment. So they use this feature so that only the teacher gets to see the videos that come on. You can, if you are doing something that you want students to respond to one another or comment about something on a video, you can have student-to-student replies, or you can also shut that off. That's up to you to decide. And then the status. This is if you want it to be active, frozen, or hidden. So you obviously keep it active throughout the assignment. If you want to have it to be view only so that you don't have anybody else recording additional videos, but you want people to be able to see the videos that have been recorded, you can freeze it. And if you don't want to delete it, but you don't want it viewable, you can also have it hidden. So there's a few options with that. Whoever has a little bit of noise, maybe if you mute your mic in the background there, if you're able to. I'm not sure who. And then video features. Again, this is just some additional things that you can select. And I really encourage you to, the first time you use Flipgrid, don't use a lot of the bells and whistles. Just kind of do the basics to get familiar. And then as you become more familiar, whatever your comfort level is, kind of just, experiment a little bit. So at the end of a recording, and we'll go through one recording hopefully together today, you can have the person recording take a selfie and add a short video, or you can do selfies only, videos only, or none. So we'll look at what that means a little bit more. A video title is automatically selected. So for my book review assignment, I would want the student to put the title of the book that they reviewed in the video title spot. So I would want to keep this active. You can decide if you want something for a title or not. View count, I tend to turn off just because I don't want it to be about the views and the likes. But if I am looking that other students are commenting and watching other videos, I might want to keep that on just to monitor how many times each video has been viewed. Sticky notes. This is actually a really cool feature that definitely helps people who get nervous when they record themselves. This allows you to have a little sticky note on your screen where you can type notes and kind of like a little outline of what you want to say. So you're not looking down when you're like reading or presenting, but you're looking at your screen and reading your notes from your screen. So that, and it doesn't show up in the final video. That's just an organization and a recording tool. Here is video editing. So depending again what your goal is, this is something that's newer in the last year or so, Before, you recorded your video and there was nothing you could do to it. It was all or nothing. Now you can go in, you can edit out. So like if somebody makes a little mistake in the middle, but everything else looks great, they can go in and they can delete that little bit of mistake part. You can also add multiple recordings together, which is kind of cool, up to the limit of however long you set your video to be able to record. So that's also a cool feature, and I tend to just leave that on. Attachment link. This again, a student can attach some other tool, Google Doc. If you have an assignment that is within Google Docs that goes along with the Flipgrid video, you could have that all kind of go into one place, and they could attach the link to their doc right in their Flipgrid video. The likes. So this one, again, you kind of have to decide. It's kind of like on Facebook or Twitter or any social media, that if you want them to be able to like videos or not. And this is defaulted to off because, as we know, sometimes both students and adults get a little hung up on the lack of likes or the amount of likes. So that I just try to keep out of the equation because I don't think that's really my most important part. This we're not going to talk a lot about today because, again, I feel like this is maybe a little bit of a second layer of learning, but this is where you can include feedback with your videos. So you can do basic feedback or custom feedback. And the custom feedback is where you can build and assign your own rubrics. So this, you can get really involved, and everything can kind of be in one spot if you choose to do that. So this is a really cool feature, and it's also a newer addition in the last year or two. So again, that's a review of the basic overview. So creating the topic, it is ready. And again, it gives me this link. For those of you who may use QR codes, it generates a QR code automatically. You can copy this link and post it into a classroom or on a Google Doc as an assignment. You can embed it, or you can share it directly to a Google Classroom. So now in the last 10 minutes or so, I want us to record a short response, and I want to kind of look at what that looks like. So it says, start the discussion. So as the teacher, I could record a little bit of a video instruction. So let's just click this so you see what this looks like if you haven't opened this yet. Okay, and it's a weird, I don't know, it looks weird to me. So if I click record. Good morning. I am really excited about this assignment. I would love to know what you are reading about and to hear your book review of that book. We are also going to share our reviews with other students to help them decide what they might read next. So it can be as long or as short. Again, I think I set this one up to 5 minutes. So I'm going to click next. And this is a video, and it'll play back. It gives you the timeline, so I can edit. If I made a mistake somewhere, I could edit that out. If I want to do a second video about something, I can add more, and I will record another clip, and it'll put it at the end. Up here, this is that little post-it feature, that sticky note. So this is where I can write notes about what I want to say. So maybe if I'm the student and I want to make sure that I have the author in the title or the things that I want to mention about it, that's what that's where I could type it there. Up here, this will show the topic. So this will give the students the instructions right in that screen, which is really cool to make sure that they do all parts that you're asking them to do. And again, neither one of these things are on the actual recording. So now when I'm good with my recording, I'm going to click next. And I'm going to click this to make that go away, and I'm going to make that go away for now. Well, there we go. All right, so now this is where they could take a selfie, where they would smile and take a picture, and that's what would be along with their video on the grid. I have been doing photos. So you can like I've been doing book reviews, so I will get the cover of the book and I will drag that into here, and that is the picture that is attached to that particular video. And now, or I can use like a whiteboard. I can do white background, and I could type something. Oops. Not sure why. Not sure why that's not working right now. My computer's a little laggy. I'm not sure. Hope I don't have internet issues today. There we go. I think. Well, you can play with that, but you could type something so you can decide. And if I had unclicked that selfie, I don't think that would have even been an option for them to take their own picture. All right, so now if well, let's see, hold on. Oops. Eee. Sorry. I can't see the bottom of my screen because my toolbar is in the way and I'm trying to move it. There we go. Okay, so when I have it set the way I want it, I'm going to click that picture and whatever it was will come up, or my face. I click next and it's processing the video. Now it automatically defaults with the person's first name and only their last initial because they want it to be, again, the privacy issue. This is where the title was, so this is where I would put the title of my book. And I'm going to click submit video. So once it is complete, it'll bring me back to that topic. And if I would have had an image, that's where that image would have shown up, right? And this is over here. This is another, like where it says actions. These are all the things you can do with it. One of the things that I think is really cool is you can download that video if you want and put it somewhere else. So you could keep it as a file in your drive if it's something that you're going to use in future activities or lessons, if it's your video. For my book reviews, I can post those on my website if I want. So this has other applications in addition to the students responding to whatever assignment you are looking for. And here is the share button. So if I want just this video, if I want to share this somewhere else, this is where I can go to. I can copy, or I can QR code it, or I can send it right to Google Classroom. So those are kind of the basics again. It's 8:28. That half an hour goes by so fast. I know a couple people joined us, and I can't really see the faces right now, but does anybody have any questions if you started to try to use it last week and you just are kind of curious about certain things, or what do you guys think? Hi, Melissa. Yay. Melissa,
I have a question.
Yes.
So, does student need to create an account as well, or just no?
Nope. That's why when you create your grid and you attach that last part of their email address, when they go to flipgrid.com, it'll say log in with Google, and that's what they do.
They still can keep their video on their own, right? After they create.
Well, they can come back to the grid. The video doesn't. Everything is within Flipgrid. It's not like within your or on your computer hard drive or anything. Or it's all web based, so it's all within that Flipgrid. I don't know actually on a student end. That's a great question, Monica. I wonder if they can download their own video, so that they could have that video somewhere else if for some reason they wanted it. But the other thing too is they can upload video. So if they have a video from something else, they can, instead of recording a brand new one, they can upload it to somewhere else or to that assignment as well.
So my question, because I'm going have a project about introduce your room.
Yep.
So that's one of the topics. So is that okay? They use a phone to record because they probably need to walk around, and after that they upload that video to the Flipgrid. That's option, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's good, because I don't want students to hold the computer to walk around the room.
No, and I think that would be a little challenging to do probably too. But real quick, if you, oh my gosh, I want to show, well, you'll be able to figure out oh my gosh, that's not what I clicked. You'll be able to figure it out pretty easily. But when you're in the camera view and down in the lower right-hand corner, let me see if I can actions, if I can record a response. That's what I want. Sorry for my computer delay. Oh, here we go. Slowly but surely. Down here, if I can get down there, right here.
Okay. Oh, upload. Yes.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they would have to have it as a file.
Okay.
But then they could just drag it over. So sometimes I record videos in Screencastify, and I save it to my drive, and then I download that file. I can drag that file right into that Flipgrid response if I wanted to as a student.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's good to know, because you don't need to like record it like each time. As long as you save that, you can use it for next year or
Exactly.
whatever.
And that's what I'm doing with book talks, because those obviously don't really go out of date. You know what I mean? So this is, I'm creating, like, this was the example I said I was going to kind of share that I've been working on personally as like a resource. So this is, I'm trying to do a virtual library kind of a little bit, and Flipgrid's one of the tools I'm using. So I've created 13 topics based on kind of the genres in our library. And I added that image for each one so that it's very visual. And then I can just record within there. So when you click on that, you can see these are my instructions. I linked the virtual library itself back to my Google site, where you can actually click on the books to check them out. And then these are some of the videos that I've recorded.
Okay.
And this one, actually, the author herself recorded this video on a different grid. And I downloaded that individual video and uploaded it to this grid.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So once you kind of figure out how things sort of work together, it's really powerful. And last but not least, up here, the shorts. This is where you can record like a short video to. This is one that I did for my book raffle that I shared with students and staff. And it gives you, again, there's lots of tools of how to, so you can learn on your own. The mixtapes, I think, the Disco Library is a bunch of different examples from teachers all over the world of how they've used it. You can even copy some of their grids. If there's an assignment that they've done that you love, and they put that in there, you can copy it right to your account and use it with your students as well. So. Yeah, so I think we're going to end here just because it is 8:33 and I know people have to get to classes and I don't want to keep you. But again, please, please, please email me if you have individual questions, or if you start, creating your own and you're like, oh gosh, I don't really know what to do, or something happens. I'm here. So it's nice to see all of you again.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I'll talk to you guys soon, okay?
Great.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.